Resilience First Aid is about being preventative about mental health. This means we are proactively investing in skills that actually protect us from mental illness. My name is Yuri Rosso. I'm a resilience expert, and I've created this course along with other psychologists and psychiatrists really as a practical way that we can all learn these skills and we can start to use these in our everyday lives. So I want to take you through 3 ways quickly that you can get involved in this. So first of all, one option is the Resilience First Aid Kit. Now this is a practical set of physical tools that actually gives you something that makes all these mental concepts tangible and physical. And a lot of people have been getting these to put up at home, and they've got the family starting to talk about these things. People are putting it up in offices as well and making it available there just as a simple and an easy practical way to get these ideas out there and to start talking about them through really fun conversations. The second option is the Resilience First Aid certification course. So this is what I'll be going through in quite a bit more detail here so you can understand what is involved and what do you get with that. And of course, one of the things you get is the larger Resilience First Aid Responder Kit, and that gives you a whole lot of extra materials that includes all the learning, all the training manual and so on, and really makes it tangible and practical as well. So a lot of people who have been doing that course come back to us and really have fantastic stories about how they found this to be incredibly useful and valuable in everyday life. That is really the big difference about Resilience First Aid. Is that it is not just something that you do and then you never really use those skills, but rather it is something that is actually very directly applicable in the everyday conversations you have with people, in the interactions you have, and also in building your own resilience as well. So we'll talk about all those things. I do want to mention as well that there is an instructor version of this course. So this is an additional 5 days of training where you get instructor resources. And this is where we've got organizations doing this to be able to scale this more effectively within their organization and to do a lot more of the certifications. And also for coaches and other people who are looking to provide this to groups and to take out these concepts and really spread this message of being proactive about mental health. Now, I do want to share this one snippet from one of the testimonials that we have that is actually on our website. And really, which is where one of our people said that this is the first time that they've actually used the learning that they have obtained from a course. And this is a very similar sentiment that so many other people share once they have done this and once they come back to us. And we hear all these amazing stories of how they've used some of the materials, how they've used the approach, and the impact that it has had on their lives and on the people around them, and how it has inspired conversations, inspired their children to start talking about resilience, people at work and so on, and just actually start making a change with these concepts of resilience, and really highlights that what Resilience First Aid is this highly practical and everyday applicable approach to mental health. So this is really what Resilience First Aid is about. It is a certification training across the 6 domains of resilience to have proactive conversations that support mental wellness. So let's take a look at what is actually included when you do this training. So there's the 2-day certification course, there's the virtual coaching that you get along with this as well, and then the resources as a practical and physical way to actually talk about resilience. So let's take a look at each of these in a little bit more detail. So first of all, in terms of what you will learn to build resilience skills. So this means you'll learn about each of those 6 domains of resilience. You'll learn 24 different skills across those domains that actually increase resilience. You also have opportunities to identify how can you use these yourself, and also how can you support other people with these. Then you'll learn quite a bit about the practical neuroscience of resilience as well. How does it work in the brain? And understanding different ways that these neuroscience concepts support the resilience domains, and being able to use that as a neuro-informed approach to have conversations and to be more effective in those conversations. You'll also learn more about the signs to look for. So this means the highs and lows of each of the domains. What do they look like? What do they mean? How do you recognize those? What also indicates risks in people, and gives us that idea of and clarity about when we want to refer someone. So also being able to look at the strengths of resilience, because this is a strength-based approach. this is a really big difference with this. And really this is important because it shifts away from the deficit approach where we're looking at what is wrong in people, but rather we're also looking at what is right and how can we build more of what is right as a protective approach. You also learn about how you can talk about that, making conversations with it, and learn how you can use that in everyday conversations, something that is actually really directly applicable. And that, as I mentioned before, is really what people come back with, and they realize that actually, yes, this is something that I can use and that actually is really useful just in talking to the people I talk to every day. So that is quite a bit of what we'll go through as well, is learning what to say. How do you start conversations? How do you keep them going? How do you enhance the language that you use? And also what to say when someone is not doing their best. So here you get actual phrases and language examples. You also get to learn from other people as well if you come along to the live courses, and thereby have a really practical way just to understand the language and to use it. So along with that, of course, you'll learn about how to respond. And this means that if someone is actually really struggling, you do get some tools to be able to use in those situations and understand what is your role and responsibility with those, and just really have confidence in this. And this is what some people have told me as well, is that they found that this approach and this knowledge has just really reduced their nervousness and give them more confidence to be able to talk about all these ideas and to have conversations that otherwise are quite difficult. So when you complete this, you will get a certificate as a Resilience First Aid certified individual. This will be a 3-year certification, and you can renew this with a 1-day refresher course at the end of those 3 years. And along with this, once you complete the 2-day certification itself, you get 12 months access to our virtual coaching program. So this means that the training doesn't end there, but instead you get this whole host of additional training and courses to keep learning about resilience yourself and build it yourself, and actually implement all these ideas that have come through the 2-day course and actually use it as an authentic way to build your own resilience and to start conversations with that as well. So that means you get access to the app with all those details and all those courses, and you get additional training along with that as well, such as the resources. You get a cognitive behavioral therapy style course. There are sleep assistance and meditations as well, mindfulness techniques. There are quick techniques as well when you yourself needs help. Then you can practice those skills as well. There are personality assessments too, to give you much more detailed insight into 35 different personality factors of yourself. There's also high adversity resilience training, which is used by firefighters, paramedics, and so on to build more advanced resilience skills that you can also learn about. There are financial resilience and job seeker resilience. All these additional courses that you get access to once you complete the certification itself. And this is really important because resilience is not just something that you do once and now you're 100% resilient, but rather it is an ongoing process. That's really where this additional access is important, as something to continually learn and to continually grow yourself. Now, of course, what's really important and really useful with this as well is the Resilience First Aid Kit that you get along with this. Along with this, you get a whole bunch of extra resources, such as a responder manual with all the training content. You get these resilience skill tiles, which is just a really great visual way to set out all these different resilience skills, and creates a lot of conversations. And it's useful for you to also track what have you mastered, what are you still working on, and to share those ideas with others as well. So there are all kinds of different physical resources here, like the wallet card, which is a nice visual representation of all these different concepts of resilience, domain cards, which you can share, and just other tools that is really nice and useful to be able to keep these things visible, to keep these ideas that are usually just in the mind, make it tangible, make it visible, start conversations. That is really what people come back with as well, is just talking about all the conversations that they've started, because these things are lying around and they're visible, they're out there, and they continually raise awareness, they continually drive engagement in all of these concepts. That is really something that we need to keep going if we actually want to build resilience. That is really how we make it practical, how we make it useful and really applicable in everyday life. Now, in terms of who can register, well, it's really for any adult that wants to support others, whether it's your friends or your colleagues, family, kids, so on. For organizations looking to proactively build a resilient culture. So a lot of the companies that we work with already are really just wanting to build something more proactive. They want to give their people the best. And this is a great tool to actually proactively invest and create these champions within the organization itself. We also have a lot of teachers that are using this to proactively build wellness in students and also just in their colleagues as well, to create a really positive environment. And for mental health professionals as well, and anyone looking to expand into more of the proactive side, that's where this is a fantastic course to use as a really cutting edge and neuroscience-based approach that is physical, it's digital, it's relational, bringing all these different concepts together. And of course, where the instructor course is also available if you want to go further into providing this course yourself. Now, for the certification itself, there are two key ways in which you can get involved. There is the blended approach, where there is a live 2-hour course, a workshop initially, that then goes into 10 hours of self-paced learning that you can do over a period of 2 weeks. And then at the end of those 2 weeks, then we come back for another live 2-hour workshop to debrief, review, and to complete the certification. So the people who have done that always come back with these amazing stories at the end of the 2 weeks about how they've used it, how they found it useful, and it's really a highly recommended approach to do this kind of blended approach because of the shared learning that you get with that as well. And there's also a fully online version as well. So if you need a bit more flexibility, then you can do that 14 hours of learning over a 3-month period, and you can take your time with it. And you can always join the community as well afterwards, or even while you're doing it, to share your ideas and to learn from other people as well. So with all this, you can join at resiliencefirstaid.com at any time. Overall, Resilience First Aid is a fantastic way to be proactive about mental health. So we get amazing feedback from the people who complete the course, and the tools are really useful and engaging. The conversations you have through it is fun and really practical and applicable in everyday life. So you can get in touch with us at any time at support@hellodriven.com if you want to talk more about how you can use this yourself, how you can use it within an organization, or even just if you want to get some of the kits or something like that. We are happy to help. So from my side, Yuri Rosso, I'm really glad to have you here. Thank you for joining us, and I hope to hear from you soon.